How's it going? Hello, hello. Let's turn down the ambient. And we're going with ambient sounds today. So, today we are talking about a program called Streamer.bot. And it is a program that you run sort of like alongside the program that you use to stream, and it can talk directly to whatever program you're using to stream, in my case OBS, but it can also have it has integration with Twitch and YouTube and a couple other platforms for tipping that probably we won't get into. But you can hook it up with different actions, and you can use chat as a way to trigger some of these actions, which is kind of an interesting use case. It's in the same vein with what we have done with the overlay. So if we click one of these channel by redemptions, it's kind of in the same vein as that. What we've done with our overlay is we've hooked into the Twitch API and we can react to events. But we're mostly sandboxed just to our overlay. We can do a little bit of OBS functionality through the browser API that OBS has, but it's limited. Using this program opens it up a little bit. I think there's also some interesting use cases which we're going to get into today, where you can have it. We talked about streaming platforms. We use OBS, and then we have all the different events. They've got API support, and I'm particularly interested in we're not interacting with WebSocket or Streamer.bot WebSocket via WebSocket, but it's not a client either. They don't really have it listed here, but they have in their docs the WebSocket. Maybe it is this WebSocket client. The idea here, though, is that we can hook into via WebSocket Streamer.bot and get information that it is gathering, some of which is Twitch chat. So I'm thinking, rather than relying on our overlay holding the connection to Twitch chat, if we switch to having this be the thing that interacts with our overlay, it might expand what we can do with the overlay, but also I think that's going to give us a little bit more of a abstraction over that dependency, to where we might be able to we'll have to run more locally, but I think it's going to give us a little bit more options as far as what we can do with it, and like an abstraction over that. And it might end up also making sense to put another like proxy in the middle of that as well, to where we have some control on what events are, like event filtering, or like we can trigger additional events on top of that. So I don't think there's anything really else on the homepage that is worth looking at. And there's a whole bunch of actions, and they've got a bunch of things in Streamer.bot that are probably worth looking into that we aren't likely going to look at today. But here's the client. So I got it downloaded, I got it hooked up, it's already connected to our Twitch. We've got a bunch of tabs here. And a lot of them, it feels very low. I don't know if low level is the right word, but it feels like you kind of need to know what you're doing to, like, you wouldn't be able to just sort of stumble into figuring out some of these things. Reading docs and kind of getting used to it and using it seems to kind of be the way you're going to end up learning this, and you'll likely, I would imagine, where we get more comfortable with it as we go. But like, right click to add, okay, but I don't know exactly what we need to put in for all this. So, it seems like it is sort of a power user kind of app, and we can do commands, and this is where we get into like, it can do a lot. The thing that I am interested in, and I don't know if we need to hook up actions to any of these, but we have like follows and whispers and whatnot. And this is the other interesting thing, right? Now we're using comfy.js, which that integration requires that we get an OAuth token, which has expired in the past and is annoying to deal with. But we end up using comfy.js, which is on top of TMI.js, just so we can get all the events, because some of them are like pub sub hidden behind WebSocket connections. And some of them are just in the IRC chat. So the chat that shows up here, I think, is primarily based on the IRC chat stuff. So I think it'll kind of just simplify things a little bit there, hopefully. But this is what we're going to try to look into here today. The servers and clients tab. There's WebSocket server, HTTP server, UDP, WebSocket clients, and WebSocket servers. And this is where, like, looking at this, nope, not that one. Looking at servers and clients page. Like, this is a little confusing because there's WebSocket server, but then there's WebSocket clients, but there's also WebSocket servers with an S. So, yep. I think WebSocket servers is the thing that we want, though. So if we go over to WebSocket server, this is all connection stuff, and then there is API reference. There's events and requests. So this is, I think, where I was looking the other day. Yeah, so this is what some of the events are going to look like once we get this hooked up. And it seems to be pretty similar to what we had before. So like a follow, we don't have follows hooked up in our overlay yet, just because it's sort of a pain to get that working. Because I don't think comfy.js has that as an event option. So TMI.js doesn't have everything. Comfy.js sits on top of TMI.js and does the pub sub stuff, but doesn't seem to have quite everything. Plus, there's some hoops to jump through as far as auth goes. We still have technically hoops to jump through, but it's handled by this program. So I'm hoping it'll help out a little bit with some of this. So now the question is, how do we get it going? So there's WebSocket servers. I don't know if this is... You can add custom. Oh, so this is custom ones. Maybe we don't need a custom one. Maybe we just want to auto start this one. Come on. Not this again. What port did I do? Like 7090 or something? Yeah, sure, that's fine. So where does that show up? So I think that's what we want. So ports, yeah. I don't think it's gonna really matter. Default port is 8080. I changed it just because that's a very common port to use. If I forget to close this for whatever reason, I don't want to cost myself an hour-long debugging session because I forgot to close the program. And I can't imagine that I'm going to end up using this exact port anywhere else. That's fine. So I think we kind of just connect to this and then we can start. So we can make requests, subscribe, unsubscribe, get events. I don't think I'm going to need to do anything with that other than just make the connection. Keys are being goofy. So let's go into our context here. And this is where we were. My window snap was going slow there. This is where we make the connection. We have this resource that we're creating via a library called affection. And we initialize and then listen for all of the events. The process is going to be very similar, and I think I'm going to just copy this file and make a new one. Well, I mean, we've got it in Git. We could probably just, well, I want to rename it anyways, so we'll make a new one. I'm changing my mind back and forth here. I know specifically that there is an example of the WebSocket connection though, and I am going to hopefully take the quick and easy route and just copy paste. And it's going to end up not being easy because I'm not going to be able to find it. You know how that always works, right? Events, maybe it's under resources. Yeah, it's under resources. So we need to make a socket connection. And I think there's socket libraries out there, WebSocket libraries. This is a very specific type of integration, and I don't need, like, I know all of my, it's a very defined set of what is actually going to be running this and making this connection. So I don't need to worry about like fallbacks for clients that don't support or whatnot. Like, I'm going to know if it is because the user base is effectively one for this. But what we want to do is I want to create socket. This is what I want. I want to copy this. And we are going to, I copied over the top of my clipboard, so I might have lost it now, but we'll call it just chat inputs. And we're going to copy this. Stay here, kitty. We don't need you walking on the desk. So in here, we're creating a bunch of context. We'll go ahead and just change these that say Twitch to, it's not specifically chat. It's, maybe we just say stream events. Stream events. Oh, okay. She keeps trying to walk up on my desk, which she is not supposed to do. Okay. Looks like we didn't copy this through. We need to import socket. Stop. I don't know why she's been doing this recently. She keeps licking the green screen, like very passive aggressively. Come on up. Like, she wants attention, but she won't sit on my lap and stay. It's like the green screen makes her nervous or something like that. It's kind of weird, but it's a recent thing. I'm not quite sure. So we're doing some stuff here to get the password, which we needed because of the auth specifically for comfy.js. I don't think we're going to need any of that now. And we mostly are just going to be making this connection. And I think we just make the connection for right now. Essentially something in this vein. I don't know if we're going to need the right socket. So we're returning socket. Okay. But I think we're basically going to do something like this. Oh, kitty. So, see, this is the other thing. Like, comfy.js is... it seems like it's not built with the expectation to be bundled with like in the app, which is interesting. I got a ping. I was reading my ping. Yeah, I think it's probably all fine. Like it didn't seem like it was set up in a way where it's expecting to be or able to be bundled well. It seemed very much like you were throwing it on a window object, which is fine. It's just it didn't make our integration easy by any means. So do we want to yield create socket? Okay. I think this is actually closer to what we want to do because we want to create a resource for it. A resource is the thing that allows the connection to stick around after we move out of scope of that function. So if you're familiar with Rust at all, using affection and the resources with an affection feels very much like the lifetimes from a little I've used them. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Basically, that when you're moving between variables and you go into a function, you can each of those variables is attached to that scope, and you can move it into further scopes. But once it moves out of scope, then it gets rid of the it cleans up the process, or it cleans up the memory for it or whatever. So you need to do a little work to make sure that hangs around, which I don't think that's a bad way to go about it, and it means that you have to be very explicit in the scope of your functions and your variables and whatnot, which I do kind of I like that. I like that outcome. So we need to create socket, and we end up then just doing create socket, and we are doing a port and a host. Our port is going to be way over in the program here. I suspect that's going to just be fine or keep it like that. I don't know if we're going to need the channel. We might. We don't need the right. I don't know if I need the return. If we don't put the channel in here, we're gonna get weird errors. So I don't think we're actually gonna like use it anywhere. But let's just let it sit around. We'll get the socket, and then what should we do with it then? I guess once we make the connection to the socket, we want to start just listening for the events. Okay, so there is an event. So we're going to get it like this, and then everything is nested within a data object. So I think what we do is we just say I'm not quite sure what we're expected to listen for. So there's the connect event, and we're yielding and connect. I guess we kind of want to just do the same thing as we did before, where we are. It's not going to be exactly the same, because this is very like specific where we are. Comfy.js has a list of functions, and you're sort of like mutating those functions. It exports and has default handling for those, but really I think we just want to listen to events. So if we say yield, we want to continue listening. So if we do a spawn, we can say on socket. We will have the connect event already. I wonder if that's just a default. MDN socket. Is there just default events? Or just like a message, I guess. Open. When a connection is opened. So the other, we had used connect in the example. Let's just try a message here. And we're going to do for each message, let's just log out the message for the moment. Eventually we're going to pipe it into the channel, but we will deal with that. We don't need spawn from child process. We want it from affection. This should be an on because we have an on. I think this is going to work. Let's give it a shot. Status. Whoop. We need to use it as a dependency here. We've got some other things that we need to update here. Provider. We're not using the build event yet. I think that's all fine and well here. Okay, so use Twitch, or with Twitch. We want to instead call it with stream events. Stream events client. Okay, let's add this to our front end top level here. Is it in the index? Yep. And this is going to be chat. Which actually, I think I should change this to stream events. Stream events. Yes, go ahead and update. Okay, now that we got it hooked up, let's get this started here. We need to run start. And we'll see if we can start getting some events in here. It's like I can't remember what the default part is. It's 42 and 51, 73. So we're not going to really see much on the front end. That has been externalized for browser. Oh yeah, of course. The example that I copied from was not browser. That's the node integration. So we need a new WebSocket. And add copy and paste. And we need to instead switch this to open. There we go. So we're getting an error. Why would we be getting generator erroring? Once. I'm not quite sure why it's not telling us that we're missing some of these imports. So like once I need to import. Socket is coming from here. Port, we need to be specifying the port. Host. We need spawn, which I have imported. And we need once, which I have imported. Create socket. We have on, which I have imported. And create channel, which I have imported. Use resource is as well. Why is it erroring? So we are waiting for the socket to return an open event. We've got some rel send. Let's go back to MDN. We've got event listeners. Okay, new WebSocket. They don't have much for examples there, unfortunately. Open, add event listener. So new WebSocket. And then we can add an event listener for open. And then this is sending an event back. Once it's opened, it'll send an event back to the server, which is the location for this WebSocket. Oh, that's probably the little bit that I missed. What did I type in for my I think that's probably going to be the thing that is giving us issues here. Why is that not throwing any errors or anything? I don't know if the try catch here is going to make sense, nor if it's going to matter. But I think what I'm going to try doing is saying this and then a console.error and log that error. We do always want to return that channel. Okay. So we're getting that affection trace. Type error, alert canvas. Yeah. So it's effectively an empty channel, which is why it's throwing that error, which is not surprising. So we're getting some error in this. If we just take out this and make the socket connection, we're still getting the error. I'm going to take this out because we are actually getting the error in our web view, or in our as part of the component. We are checking here via the client. Client is coming out from the resource, so if the client is rejected, then it is throwing that. So there's a loading state, and then there's the rejected state. Otherwise, it's going to give us the context. So there's some issue happening in here, it seems. So if we don't wait for this, new WebSocket. It's got nothing to connect to. So it's going to be, I think I want to write that in here. It's always going to be this, and then we're going to do the host. Whoop. Yeah, I see you. What's your deal? And the port. Okay, so we are attempting to make the, so there's a new WebSocket. It must be this connect. I don't think it's actually a, oh, yep. And I don't know if that closed is actually supposed to be there either. Connection failed. WebSocket is closed before the connection is established. Okay. Oh. It has, because I've got WebSocket there. Okay, so we're not getting any events. I do want to wait for it to open, and then we should be getting any events. The events we're going to get are close, error, message. I do want to log out. So Anna is going to give us a stream of events, or is going to give us a stream of events that we're listening to. I do want to just log out any errors here. So we're going to do a yield spawn there. And this. So these are all related to basically just having an empty set here. Okay. So we don't have any values there yet. We're creating a channel and we're returning a channel. What were we doing before that it had this? Okay, create channel, and then we send events to it. Okay. So like this seems fine. And I think we do want to still be sending that channel. But the question is, are we seeing any events? And it doesn't seem like we are. It seems like we have made the connection. We can look at the network tab. Let's see. Got a bunch of chunks. We're loading a bunch of stuff. Oh, I was like, WASM. Yeah, 3JS. I forgot we're using that. Here's our WebSocket. Interesting, switching protocols. So Fine. Messages. Okay, so it doesn't seem like we're actually getting any messages yet. So let's see what we can do to make that happen. This setting controls Streamer.bot's own internal WebSockets. Are we looking to connect to OBS? I'm not. Use the OBS tab. So the question is, how do we now pipe things in here? There's commands, actions. What's under platform? So we get events, channel point, polls, predictions. There's the sign in for my account. So we have these things called actions. It kind of seems like we need to tie specific action to it. So if we go to our actions tab and we do add, let's just say chat event. Queue, sure, always run. And you can pause the queue too, which is kind of nifty. Exclude from action queue. So now if we do chat event, select. So when a chat message happens, we are triggering this action. This action is enabled, and it's going to show up in the history. I'm not seeing where this would show up. So we've got the chat event. Polls, predictions. So there's a test. Don't know what the action now is. So it goes into a default queue. Action queues. Chat event. Chat event. Okay. So we've got values coming in. Here we go. So we can see the event. So we're getting the event here. It is showing up as a chat event. It's in the default queue. So we can potentially pause. Yeah, we can pause certain queues. There's no pending actions. That's fine. So within, we're not going to actually set that as a follow. Okay, so we should be getting chat events. Now, if I just go ahead and refresh this, I'm going to open up this again. We should see the messages in here, even if we're not getting it on the front end. Chat event in the program. Nothing in our connection here. So there's still something going on with that. We've got an address, port 789. Port is 7890. Add that. I mean, we could try. I don't know that it. Can you go to a WebSocket connection directly? No, because that's a GET, which is different than a WebSocket connection. Connection stalled. Switching protocols. So So we've got different properties. We can what's extensions? Read-only property that returns the extensions. Okay. URL. Protocols. It's going to say sub-protocols, so it can implement multiple. So we get a syntax error, parsing of the URL. So if it has a scheme other than that, we do have a close as an option here, of which we are setting it here. I don't know that that would be causing an issue, but let's go ahead and just double check. We've got type connected localhost. That's interesting. We can try doing, so 127.0.0.1 is, I think it's effectively the same as localhost. So that's happening in client.ts. src client.ts. That must be the Vite server. Yeah. Interesting. So when it starts up, it actually makes a WebSocket connection. That's got to be for the hot module reloading. So when you save the server restarts and it pings the browser to refresh, basically. So that's clearly connecting correctly. If we look at the timing, installed initiator, and we're getting events there. Everything appears to connection upgrade. The host, no cache. That all seems fine. And we're getting a status code in a range that seems like it's connecting, but we're just not getting any events here. So if we go to stream apps, OBS stuff, 50. Okay, action queues. So we are definitely getting the action queues here. If we go to platforms, there's the chat event. We don't have a way to test from here. It is showing up in the action queues though, so I would expect that. I would expect that it carries through. Let's change this back to the 127. Not that it matters that much, but that is going to give us just a little more indication that that's specifically the one that we created. 7890 at 127.0.0.1. And we are waiting for the open event. Okay, so So it's binding it to that. If you need to connect to that from another machine on your local network, set this to your internal LAN IP, which we don't in this case. Change this if you already have another service endpoint. Your client must subscribe to any events it wishes to receive. So we need to, that's probably the bit that we were missing. So we make the connection and then we need to subscribe. So we need to send a response on open. Okay. So in this case, we would be subscribing to all of these events. I don't guess it's just a random number for the ID. So we can do a yield. I guess we do socket.onOpen. I mean, I think that's fine. Right now, all we want is that chat. So, well, I do kind of want the follow as well. Chat. So this will give us a subscription, and we're telling the socket when it opens, then subscribe right away. And we are spawning off basically loggers for opens or for error and close events, and then we're waiting for it to open. Let's give that a shot. So here's our web, and there's some events now. So if we would say chat event, are we getting Twitch follow chat? It says it's okay. Do we see so there's an on message. There should be, okay. So we can do an add event listener or set an event handler property. I guess I kind of want to do the event listener because it works well with our effection integration. Of which we're doing here a on message. And I think we want to, let's just take this off for the moment. I want to make sure that's not accidentally closing it. I think we do want to connect to the follow in the chat. Events. Chat message. I think that's the issue here. So we just assumed it would be chat, but instead it should be chat message. So we go back here. Now we got our status okay. It's interesting that we're getting status okay even though that event didn't exist. But let's see if it works. Hey, okay. So we got an event, and that should be something that we can pipe through to this now. I think this is correct. So do we get our message? We got our message event. So this is, where's that coming from? Stream events 59. Okay. So we've got those and this, and we are saying unopen. Go ahead and subscribe to those right away, which I think is fine. And we're logging out every message. So message should contain the we should be getting back. Every packet sent by the website includes the following schema. So like that is the schema that it's saying that it has. Well, we're just logging it out. It seems like there's more to it. If we look here, the event as here is as we might expect. But the message that we're actually getting back, it's just the connected event. So there's a data property. And a target. Message from server. Yeah, so I think we actually want to do at this point rather than logging out just message. So let's log out message.data. It seems like it's going to be string.json, so we'll have to parse it. So we're getting the OK status here. So now if we say howdy from chat, it doesn't seem like we are getting another one. So we're getting it in the I wonder if there's just like another event here or something. I don't know if it's going to be splitting them up or how it's sending it, but if we say chat message, so that's coming from 59. Now if we say protocol. What are the protocol options? Protocols, a single string or an array of protocol strings. So it seems like it's just an open-ended protocols. And we've added an event listener for messages, but it seems like we're just not getting the events. Source ports. Like this is basically what we're doing. I mean, we could drop this in here and not have it as part of affection. Just to make sure that we're not missing something. So like here, we're getting that. And now if we do a chat event, yeah, weird. Why are we losing it? I mean, we're clearly getting out of here and into our resource because we're getting this event, getting an event here, and then it's returning channel. I wonder if because it goes out of scope, the socket is closing down here. That feels surprising compared to what we are doing here. Because we're not returning the client or anything like that. And we're using that client here. And we're returning the channel. So I don't know why I would be closing down immediately. It's possible that we need to start sending events. So like we could do we'll do another one where we send event channel.send. Let's just send the whole thing. We'll just say message. And let's see what happens. We're clearly getting the events though. And like this is, we're still getting an error downstream a little bit. So we'll have to work that out. But we're still not getting events there. It is coming through. We are seeing it in our network. If we look at this, we're not getting it there. Why did we? Is it because I turned that back on? Interesting. So now we're getting events. I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't know if we can connect to more than one event. I think we just want to do this. And we can say console.log message and this. Then we will send it. And there's our event message. Our data is right there. It's okay. But we're still not getting that second event, despite it coming through here. Let's just, unfortunately we are at our hour, so I am going to have to call it. Oh, I took it off there. That's okay. I don't know. I don't think we need a shutdown. I don't think we need a shutdown there. But something's funky. Something funky is going on here that it is not keeping that around. On socket message. Yeah, like this is like going out of scope and we're losing it. I think it's something in that vein. And essentially like shutting it down. I almost feel like I would rather do this. In which case we need ensure, which is why we're getting that error. One last check. Yep. So we'll have to wire that up, but we're getting events. And I think this is going to give us a lot of control because we're going to get all the types and stuff through here, and we'll be able to do follow events and everything. And then we can, from here, pipe it into our WebGL stream overlay. A little bit preemptive there. Yeah, I think this is gonna work well. And we've been looking at switching to YouTube as well, and this has an integration with YouTube, so we can make the switch to this. We'll run this side by side. We'll get events. We can kind of manage our events through this, and I think we can then set up actions, or either we put another proxy in between where we can handle messages, because like we want to be able to delete messages. So if some troll or something comes through, we want to get rid of it over there. So either we need to do that via a proxy or an action. Unsure. But I think this is going to allow us enough abstraction and additional control and features where we can play around with things a little bit more and add more with our integrations. But then we can do things outside of just our overlay and have things trigger OBS things directly, which I think will be fun. So we'll keep playing with it. I suspect next week I will probably skip streaming because it is Thanksgiving in my part of the world, and I'll likely just take off on Friday. But the Friday after, I think we'll continue this and see if we can get chat events through HTML and WebGL. So next time, keep experimenting. Have a happy Friday. Have a happy holidays for those that are celebrating next week. And I'll see you next time. Bye.